I'm Christian Paul G. Salas together with Ms. Mar France Sabaldiga. We were here to discuss the history of Philippine architecture. So today, we will take a journey back in time to understand the evolution of Philippine architecture during the five important eras in our history, which is the pre-colonial periods, the Spanish colonial periods, the American period, the Japanese occupation, and the post-war to modern era. This era shows the ingenuity and adaptability of the Filipino people, reflecting their responses to the environment, lifestyle, and external influence. By examining these architectural developments, we gain insights into our rich cultural heritage and its impact on the structures we still see today. Before we dive deeper in our topic, here is our lesson objectives. By the end of the lesson, students will be able to 1. Explain the evolution of Philippine architecture across different historical periods. 2. Identify structural styles and their distinguishing features. And 3. Analyze the cultural and environmental factors that shapes Philippine architecture. Let us begin with the pre-colonial period, a time before foreign influence shaped our society. The architecture during this era was heavily influenced by nature and the practical needs of our ancestors. The earliest examples of architecture in this period were rock shelters and caves. These natural formations provided shelter for nomadic groups, offering from harsh weather and wild animals. These structures were rudimentary but served their purpose well in a time where mobility was crucial. As time progressed, people transitioned to a more settled lifestyle with the advent of farming. This shift led to the development of the Bahay Kubo, a type of traditional Filipino house that is still a cultural symbol as of today. The Bahay Kubo was an ingenious design that addressed the needs of its inhabitants and their environment. Here are some key features of Bahay Kubo. First, it is built on stilts. The design protected the house from floods and pests, allowed air circulation beneath the structures, and even provide storage space for tools and animals. The second one, and last, is the lightweight materials. The Bahay Kubo was constructed using light materials like bamboo, wood, nipa palm, and dried grass, which is abundant and sustainable. These materials made the house easy to construct, repair, and even relocate. The two notable examples of pre-colonial architecture reflect the diversity and adaptability of early Filipinos was one, the Ifugao Terrace House in the Cordilleras. These homes were carefully designed to suit the stepped mountainous terrains of the Cordilleras. The ingenuity of these terrace houses is mirrored in the rice terraces themselves, showcasing a deep understanding of engineering and agriculture. For number two example is the Maranao Torogan. A Torogan is a traditional royal house of the Maranao people. It was a symbol of status, power, and cultural pride. Known for its intricate carvings, particularly the ochre design, It's demonstrated the artistic capabilities of the Maranao. As you can see, pre-colonial architecture was functional and deeply intertwined with the natural environment. It reflects a resourceful approach to building, tailored to the community's practical needs and cultural values. So, we come now to the Spanish colonial period. The Spanish colonial period marked a significant shift in the Philippine architecture. This era introduced new materials, construction techniques, and design philosophies, heavily influenced by Spanish culture and the Catholic Church. One of the most iconic innovations of this period was the Bahay na Bato. This structure evolved from the Bahay Kubo of the pre-colonial period, blending indigenous Filipino design with the Spanish colonial elements. The Bahay na Bato was designed for durability and comfort, adapting to the tropical climate and the frequent natural disasters such as typhoons and earthquakes. The Bahay na Bato is made of two floors. The lower floor is made of stone or brick. It provides a sturdy foundation and serves as a storage or workspace. And the upper floor is constructed of hardwood and capiche windows. It remains lightweight to reduce damage during earthquakes. The Bahay na Bato symbolize the merging of Filipino practicality to Spanish architectural influence. Another hallmark of this era was the religious architecture, which played a central role in Spanish colonization. The Spaniards built grand Baroque style churches to establish their presence and spread of Christianity. These churches were not only places for worship but also centers of community life. Examples of architecture in Spanish colonial period are the Paway Church in Ilocos Norte. It is known for its massive buttresses. This church was built to withstand earthquakes, a testament to its durable and earthquake resilient design. For number two example is the Magyao Church in Iloilo. Famous for its ornate facade, Magyao Church combines Baroque style with Filipino motifs, including local flora and daily life scenes, reflecting the artistry of Filipino craftsmen. And also, during the Spanish colonial, the militarist architecture also emerged. The Spaniards needed to defend their settlements. The most notable example is the Intramuros, the walled city of Manila. Intramuros served as a fortress with thick walls and strategic layouts to protect the colony from invasions. The Spaniards also introduced a new approach to urban planning. They designed towns with a central plaza, a public square surrounded by church, government buildings, and residences of prominent citizens. This layout emphasized the importance of religion and governance in the daily life and became a template for many towns across the Philippines.
American period introduction of neoclassical and various art styles for government buildings. Examples: Post Office Building, Legislative House, and Manila. During the American colonization, architecture in the Philippines saw the introduction of neoclassical and Baroque art styles, especially for governments, buildings. These architectural styles emphasize grandeur, symmetry, and classical details, showcase the influence of Western ideas. Proponent explains include the post office building and the legislative house in Manila, which remain iconic symbols of this area. Residential style chalet houses featured functional designs with porches and wooden stairways. Art Deco architecture flourished during the 1930s, influenced designs such as the FEU building and Avenue Theater. For resident architecture, chalet style houses were popular. These structures were designed for functionality and incorporated features like approaches and wooden stairways, adapting to the tropical climate of the Philippines. The Art Deco movement also gained prominence during the 1930s. Is it influenced the designs of significant structures like the FEU building and the Avenue Theater, showcasing geometric patterns, bold lines, and modern aesthetics. Post-war to modern era. After the war, Philippines architecture continued to evaluate, reflecting a build of global trends and local adoptions. Art Deco continue influence with buildings like USD Central Seminar and the Quezon Institute. The first one, Art Deco. The influence of Art Deco persisted with structures like the USD Central Seminary and the Quezon Institute, exemplifying the style enduring apply. The next one is modernism, introduction of solar control device and climate adapted roof for tropical architecture. The modern is architect introduced solar control device and climate adapted roof, addressing the um, challenges of tropical architecture. This era focused on functionality and integrity, environmental consideration into building design. The next one is Philippinization, revival of bahay kubo and bahay na bato from in modern building like the National Theatre and Batasang Pambansa. A revival of traditional architectural forms like the bahay kubo and bahay na bato begin to emerge. These elements were incorporated into modern buildings such as the National Theatre and Batasang Pangbansa, reflecting a desire to reconnect with Filipino heritage. And then contemporary architecture, risk of high rises and microsite such as Rockwell Center and Fort Bonifacio. In recent years, Philippines architecture has embraced modernity and globalization, hierarchies, and my macro sites development like Rockwell Center and Fort Bonifacio showcase the rise of urbanization and mixed-use complexes. The last one is adoption of global architectural trends while maintaining functionality for global conditions. Um, Global architectural trends and contemporary designs incorporate international influence um, while ensuring functionality for local conductions. Modern architects priorities sustainability and adaptability to the propetal environmental. That's all for today. Thank you very much. Have a good day.